Good evening.
I'd like to welcome you to East Marion Methodist Church, and thank you for coming tonight. We're so pleased to have Stone's Throw back, and they've been here a couple of times before, and we just appreciate it so much. We wanted to give you a little housekeeping information in that the restrooms, the men's room is right out in the narthex, and the ladies is down the hall to the left. And they asked me to suggest that you cut your cell phones on vibrate during this concert. This concert is sponsored by the East Marion East Community Forum. You gotta get that just right, kid. Marion East Community Forum, and they're glad to bring you this concert. It's an effort also to raise some money for the Marion East Recreational Complex that is a dream at this point, but we hope to work with East Marion Baptist Church to set up a recreational complex for the community, all ages here. So we hope that you will enjoy the concert. We thank you for coming. It's an extension of Christmas tide in the old Irish tradition, and enjoy Stone's Throw.
Happy old Christmas Eve. We would ask that you hold your applause. The narrative is a flowing narrative, and so hold your applause till the intermission and then again at the end. And we'll start with, there'll be a 10-minute intermission, by the way. With some of the oldest and most complex geographical formations on Earth, our Appalachian Mountains of western North Carolina have many of the highest summits in eastern America. Nearby Yancey County's Mount Mitchell in the Black Mountain Range is the highest point east of the Mississippi River. The Appalachian ranges in our state include Blue Ridge, Black, Great Smoky, Balsam, and the Nantahala Mountains. This range extends all the way up into New Hampshire, where I come from, the Presidential Range, and on to Katahdin, where it sort of peters out into the east counties of Canada. And then it extends over the ocean. Geologists have established that our mountain range, this one right here, is identical to the mountains in Ireland and Scotland, and are geologically identical. One and the same millions of years ago when our Earth was much younger and not separated by oceans and continental drifting. This beautiful land of peaks and valleys and forests and flowers, this place that we call home, was the last area of North Carolina to be settled by Scots, Irish, English, and German immigrants. Is it any wonder they made it their home, since it's such a likely part of our genetic memory? They arrived with simple possessions, hard work ethic, crafty survival skills and instincts, deep faith, a love and devotion to family, and the long-standing traditions of their people and the countries they left behind. Christmas in the Appalachians. A tradition and a celebration of the Holy One, Emmanuel, who came to earth to forever reconcile the human race to God. A tradition we still commemorate here this evening as we recall and experience the music and stories of yesteryear, many of which still endure today as we remember our heritage and old Christmas. Coventry Carol, just played by a stone's throw, was an English song sung in the 15th century play, which has withstood the test of time, as we can see. This beautiful tune was paired with When Christ Was Born, a beautiful tradition Celtic tune from the Isle of Man. So, just why did our ancestors celebrate Old Christmas? What was it? What was this tradition? In the year 46 BC, Julius Caesar proposed a new calendar of 365 days, with the first day of the year being January 1st. This Julian calendar was better for a time, but did not fully account for a year. In the 4th century, December 25th became the date for celebrating Christmas. Since the Julian calendar did have its flaws, in the late 1500s, Pope Gregory XIII felt it was time to modify leap years and get back on track with the astronomical calendar. The revisions were accepted in continental Europe, but not by Great Britain and the colonies until 1752. However, the staunchly anti-Catholic Scots and Irish and the Scots and Irish immigrants who were settling in the Appalachians refused to embrace the new calendar. They were not going to be dictated to by the Pope. Due to their isolation in the mountains, these pioneers continued to celebrate Old Christmas, 12 days after December 25th on January 6th, for many generations to come. The next two pieces, Rorate and New Christmas, are Scottish carols. Rorate is a rare 16th century Scottish carol by William Dunbar, a Scottish diplomat, poet, and Franciscan monk. Rain down the dew from heaven, for now is risen a bright day star. New Christmas, of course, refers to the new Gregorian calendar and was written by 18th century Scottish fiddler Neil Gow. Our harper, Martha Hill, visited his grave at Greyfriars Church in Edinburgh in August. next carol, The Holly and the Ivy, is from the early 19th century England. Stone's Throw performs this carol with more modern harmonies and places a mischievous twist at the end. Recall for a moment how peaceful and beautiful a new fallen snow is at night when heavenly lights reflect off its whiteness. Jerry Reed Smith, owner of the Song of the Wood in Black Mountain, wrote this beautiful tune originally for hammered dulcimer. Close your eyes and experience Stone's Throw's rendition of One Wintry Night, followed by a beautiful Austrian carol, Still, Still, Still.
nightmare in a Harper's routine, and that is to forget to change keys before you start playing.
On Old Christmas Eve, young people enjoyed raucous activities, setting bonfires, and going serenading, which involved